ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the first annual public speaking competition of the DBS. We are very proud of this event, so thank you for coming. I would like to introduce our jury members, Kevin Coy and Fabrice Lesba. Welcome. So today, 4 competitors are going to fight for the first prize, and they will be judged by our jury. So before starting, the candidates will pick one word in an envelope, and they will try to incorporate that word into their speech. So now the question you must all be wondering is, what's the prize? So what will they win? The winner of the competition will win this trophy. That's all. and also the winner will win two places for the shard, to go on the top of the shard, to be used for the first.
Easy start for a speech in English. An adaptation of a famous sentence: to move or not to move. A flicker of the eye, a twitch of your finger is enough to qualify you as a moving object, a moving body. Now the question I chose to address today is, what if the best journey was motionless? You can look at it, from my view, by two sides. The sides of immobility, the perfect immobility. Nothing moves and you become one with what is around you. I could sit on this very desk and be the desk if I wanted to. Maybe not going to do it now. The other side would be considering the journey. The journey, what is the idea behind a journey? A journey is you going somewhere else, moving your environment, or being moved, I guess, and becoming something else. But you already see where I'm going to. The ends are the same. You become something else. The means are just quite opposite. Now, you see that doesn't only work through space. It's quite interesting to apply that idea of immobility against movement to time as well. Because obviously we made it both. So now I could rephrase that question of what if the best journey was motionless, and those two sides of the equation, if you want, one being immobility against movement, as a journey, for example, would be the act of being, for me, through becoming. You want to become something, but you only do it by moving around, and moving around is to live. On the other side, being motionless is the will to become through being. It's just the same thing, but opposite means again. There are some pretty sweet examples to me in the shape of two buildings that live on very different terms. The first one that would to me illustrate the journey is called the, pardon my Japanese, Isejingo Grand Shrine, somewhere on the beautiful island. And it's an amazing thing. The cultural use they have developed over there is they have a shrine and they tear it down and rebuild it every 20 years. Every 20 years, different people, obviously, because they've been doing that for more than 1,000 years, will come, destroy the existing structure, rebuild it. They move the parts around the temple hasn't changed a bit for 1,300 years. It's just mesmerizing. Now on the other side, the side of immobility, a motionless building, what would it be? An old temple that you see. I've seen one in Cambodia called Tapron, and it's a structure that through immobility became a part of its environment. Trees grow on it. It's a beautiful thing, and you hopefully will look it up later. It's a perfect illustration to me of how being motionless really makes you become what is around you. Once again, the desk serves a good point. Now, it's just a quick idea there. I see it as quite easy to see life as a journey. The equivalence is pretty straightforward. You could say that also, as some Indian philosophies do, that it would be a journey, but not necessarily a moving one. We could be considered a thing that is quite fixed and only changes its form. And would that be a real movement? I don't know. It's just something that popped up there in a way. So now, I will go on to a different point now. Just asking you to remember, as a transition as well, that those states of movement, the journey, as opposed to immobility, are perfectly hypothetical. There is nothing true about them. You can't be perfectly still. It's only really in your mind that it happens. So now, once we get into this realm of the mind and what happens in your head, you can separate two cases there, and we'll go on to a different kind of purpose there. I will see a physical mind, one that is just your brain, your body and your brain. So your mind there would be just chemical reactions, make you think, but you don't really know it. In that category, what is a journey? What is a travel? If you take drugs, for example, you will go through everything that you are capable of thinking of, maybe. If you dream, it's just the same thing. You will just express your potential ideas, things that went through your head but you weren't even aware of it. And to summarize that, there's a pretty nice idea by Schopenhauer. Don't know if you've read it, I haven't, but who compares the word to a book. To live consciously, if you want, is to turn the pages one after the other, just very easily. It's a form of travelling, if you want, through your life. To dream, on the other hand, is a different thing. You skim through the pages back and forth, go all over the place, and that also is just a form of travelling. You don't need to move around, just lay still, fall asleep, and you will actually.
Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so.
So well done PH. So our next competitor is Ilana, who's going to join us today.
The word is aromatic. Aromatic, like aromatic. Okay. So my subject, the subject that I choose is to be successful in life, you should be reached up, and I choose time. Dear time. Without any play on words, I won't take too much of your time, just a few minutes. I remember when I was 5, I wouldn't understand when my mom was looking at me and telling her friend that I was growing too fast, when the only thing that I wanted was to grow as fast as possible. We all know this human feeling of wanting to grow faster when you're still young, and to stop the time when your memories get you sad of getting old. Dear time, here are some words for you. I don't know you except the fact that you must be busy to be so selfish with us. I mean, how can you run away that fast when we need you and transform minutes into hours when we get bored? See, when I was 7, I remember writing letters on a little piece of paper and fold it into an airplane. I would throw it out of the window, look at my little sister and say, "Don't worry, it's going to go straight back to the sky." I was writing, "Hey Grandpa, when will you have some time to come and play with me?" But you were so selfish, you powerful time, that you never gave him the time to come and play with me. Time, you are the rudest resource on the planet. When we say, take your time, but we know that we don't have enough, so we just run and lose time to think about how to save some. When we count every minute before an event that matters, and that when it finally comes, it feels like it lasted only a few minutes. When some of us pray God to give them more time to accomplish things that money, power, anger, or love wouldn't be able to provide. When time ruins hope because the dream would last too long. When youth becomes a memory, but even your memories disappear because time feeds itself with it. When you wish you could turn the clock back to erase, transform, improve, or just leave the moment again. Dear time, I am asking you again, why be so selfish? Being successful in life means owning enough time, but humans don't own time. You do, and you keep it for some mysterious reason, an enigma that we're never gonna solve, because we don't have the time for it, through earring. I'm writing you because I realized how unfair your power was over us. I remembered it would be made, but how this time is enjoyed is human are trying to control it. That's it. We can't control it. We can't control you. Einstein would even say, time is an illusion. This control is now more than impossible. We can't catch an illusion or rationalize it. To everything here is a season, and a time to every purpose. A time to be born, and a time to be dead. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to get and lose, to keep or cast away. To keep silence or speak, to have, to love or hate. And as Einstein would say, time is what presents everything from happening at once. So dear time, I can't take away from you that you're quite organized and that humans follow your plans. Humans realize how important you are for their success in life. They wish they could catch the instantaneous and feel the presence of enough meaningful acts so they don't regret a lack of time. The present is the catchphrase of their lives, but the past just haunts their acts, because you make them understand that they will not be able to take back the time that they already wasted. So they try better to honor the rest of the time that you allow them to have. When did you start to be such a key factor about happiness and personal fulfillment? Sometimes we just wish we could stop for a while to let us breathe, so we won't have to run after you. But a break in your evolution would mean a word-death sentence. We are completely unable to think what would happen if the time stopped, if you stop, because we can't imagine the emptiness of your absence. Dear time, sometimes I see you like a destructor. You make things irrevocable. We can't be 2 times the same moment, not anymore and not ever again. You bring nostalgia, homesickness, regrets and remorse. You are also irreversible. We can't take back anything we did or said. Now that my anger, or at least in comparison, were put down in words, I only have one last thing to do. Just fold this paper into an airplane, throw it out into the window, and hope that one day you, dear time, will take a moment to read it.
I realized behind this quite ideal concept, which shapes a lot of utopian illusions like the American dream to strengthen like people's determination. We will go deeper than just one man on this topic because as typical the film was, we're looking on the wider scale, and as we've been learned by our beloved English teacher Fabrice Lixba, you can clap your hand for Fabrice. Additionally, I will try to pay you another tribute by showing proof of your natural pragmatism during my speech. I'd like to. So first of all, let's be clear. I won't defend the usual utilitarian ideal stating that being rich of happiness is what forms individual success. What is the actual secret of successfulness? Well, my most constructive and maybe less clear statement, and I'm sorry for that, would be that it actually depends on people. Success is a subjective label that we usually stick to at each other on the basis of features which might sometimes, I admit, be quite negligible. For instance, I can remember that once my mother yelled at me that I was a champion. Well, I just managed to do my first length at the swimming pool in a 6-meter long swimming pool, while during the claims of the same year, it was in 2004. Michael Phelps just established a new world record at the Olympic Games at the 400 meters medley, so it was kind of inappropriate, but while it seemed inappropriate, I truly believe that my mom at this stage was right in encouraging me in the sense that getting to the end of the length was the objective of a continuous training. I've committed my young life to, well, maybe not my young life, maybe like just 2 weeks, but still I've committed a lot of time to and a lot of training to that. And that involving oneself and getting a reward for it is for me the actual journey to success. Oscar Wilde used to say that success is a science, and if one has the conditions, then gets the results. And even though I've never read the reading, I have to admit that this quote I found on the internet, like the many others in this speech, describes quite well the latter anecdote. But I can already hear people in the room who daily read Forbes articles on who the 50 most successful persons in the world are and how many billion can they make a year, say, oh no, success is not relative, success is about money because it's the reward of success, and therefore the only way to measure success is measuring the amount of capital someone has. Well, a response to which I would simply answer that if it was actually the case, if like money just made up success, then I'm pretty sure that the current opponent to Macron would be Fillon and his like 10,000 euros suits rather than just Marine Le Pen. I want to introduce one among lots of Winston Churchill's quotation. He said once that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Therefore, if there are cases where some of you are stressed about anything, like the exams incoming, for example, just do like Edward, who's not here, and I'm very sorry for that, he won't hear that joke, and hold your head high. You'll eventually meet extraordinary people next year, and still be successful in your social life rather than your academic one. Still, my last sentence is from myself this time. Remember that success is a continuous process which, like a mere straight line, has no end. Thank you.
Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain.
Oh, I've got an hour.
Can you hear it now?
Professors here with a license to talk.
Can you hear me? Are you sure? Okay, is that better? Okay, the first thing we decided is that the addition of the word didn't work. So we just counted that. Okay, we haven't used that at all in our deliberations. So I know you did, but this time it's because we didn't feel that the word was used. The word was used in the way that it was meant to be. Okay, we're going to start off with Pierre-Hugo. We have some things I want to point out that were very good, and then there's some other things that need to be worked on. And so I'm going to do the positive things. He engaged the audience very well. He was really good with eye contact and directing the audience. He used humor quite a lot.
and he involved the judges, which I think he was meant to try to get us on side, but who knows. That was really good. Now, Fabrice.
Yes. I have the body language. Again, a lot of people here. Yeah. So I think that needs to be improved. There was an intriguing image there of you proposing that you should ride the unicorn. Should I ride the unicorn? You said that, but you didn't really develop that. I was really looking to see how that was going to happen. I'm afraid that in the end, the premise of your whole reasoning, which was that you are the world master, if I got that one right, that premise, I'm afraid, may in the end turn out to be just as imaginary as the unicorn. Alright. Ilana. So I'm going to do the good stuff, and he's going to do the bad stuff. So Ilana, I want to congratulate you on the bravery of the personal term. I think that was a courageous move on your part, and so I wanted to know that we were sensitive to that. It was what did you do again? Very clear, very well structured. The format of the letter, I think, helped also, and was an interesting technique. Personally, I want to congratulate you on the metaphor of time as a paper plane. That has a lot of potential. So I really like that one. Woo! The back.
The advice we would give you is that it was good when you read it, so therefore there was very little body language, very little contact with the audience, very little natural disability, even though there was no engagement. And time as an illusion needed a bit more exploration, you think, although you did a good job. And the aromatic quotation, even though you used it, sounded tasty, but didn't get the didn't get the pitch.
You mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we are with that one. Okay, you're doing Barnabé.
Am I? Oh yeah, okay. Barnabé. Right, okay. Barnabé, I'm afraid the good news is that you're completely wrong, and that this idea that I can never change my mind, I have no idea where you got that one. I have completely changed my mind. You have just proven that I was wrong and that you can actually articulate. Very well structured. I thought very well structured presentation, very clearly. So not just the articulation of the words, but the articulation of the ideas. And finally, congratulations on, after all these years, finally understanding your mind.
A couple of suggestions. Using the French found his feet didn't quite work. I don't think.
Found his foot.
He found his foot. I didn't get it. So I didn't understand it. It's all right. Don't worry. Don't get offended. And this is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but doing the speech in English was a difficult idea, wasn't it? Doing the speech in English, but you did. Okay. ANtoine. Finally, we end up with ANtoine. And ANtoine had a great command of the audience. You know, he was in charge, right, when we first took over. For a motionless journey, we did travel quite a bit, I think. We were a little talk, don't you think? Those of you that were here. the final thing I would say is that, on behalf of us, is that you were very passionate about what you were talking about, the sort of movement, whatever way it happens.
Now, Antoine, structure. How many times? So structure, yeah, maybe a little bit more of that. And to move is not to move, or not to move or not to move, moving without moving. That's a great idea. I'm not sure that it works really well for a speech, and that a speech ending where it started, basically not having moved, is exactly what we expect from it, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
That's it, we're done. Bye-bye.
Do we have to do a vote? Are you going to do that?
Okay, so Ilana is the public's winner. Well done, Ilana. So now, who is going to win the trophy and the 2 tickets for the card? The winner is... Okay, so the winner of the public speaking competition is the second person. The person who arrived second is Ilana. And the winner who won the tickets and this trophy is Barnabé!